Hey guys, we're just gonna get our live started. I'm just waiting for everything to download and then we'll start our live Q&A. Let's get this started here. All right, here we go. So we're live. It took a minute to download everything. So welcome everybody to our February 2021 live Facebook Q&A. We'll be answering all your questions that you guys wrote into our inbox, and then we'll answer questions in the chat. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to write them in the chat, and then I'll answer them as quick as possible. I'm going to try and find the chat real quick because Facebook has changed everything around. So let me get it started here real quick, and then we'll start answering questions. Let's see here. There we go. Okay, so we're set up. All right, thanks everyone for joining us. We've got a lot of great topics to get to, a lot of questions to answer. You guys wrote in a bunch of stuff, and then we'll be going over to YouTube in a little while after this one and doing some like random calling of scammers and doing a little informal Q&A there as well. But as you know, our Q&A on Facebook generally tends to be a little bit more of a serious topic. So we'll start out with some updates. You guys have been asking how we're doing. Anna and myself are doing okay. Still waiting on a date for my back surgery. Had a big old fight with the insurance company, so we're kind of going back and forth on that. But if I hear anything, I'll of course let you guys know. So as you know, Australia is fighting with Facebook, and a lot of the news media and stuff they can't see, they can't. They've been kind of cut off. Anne's been able to do the page and things like that, but she can't share news stories in her own timeline and on the page. So it's been kind of a little bit of a struggle with that. Hopefully it'll resolve itself soon. We'll see what happens. But for those in Australia, they're having some issues. So just, you know, bear with them. And as well as all of our friends in Texas, keep our prayers for those in Texas, Oklahoma, and through the South that are dealing with the outages and things like that. So, and all the ice and stuff they're dealing with is horrible. But we'd like to do a quick shout out to before we get started. Kim Tapestry sent us this awesome background. Got tired of looking at my ugly curtains in my office, so we have a new background we're trying out, and we'd like to say thanks to Kim for shipping that over to us. So we had a lot of questions. I'm going to get started right away with some. Mainly the issue we've been having is ever since Valentine's Day, there's been a fallout of victims. We've had hundreds of victims a day. We can't keep up between our page, Gmail, and YouTube. We've had so many victims, and it's kind of unfortunate, and it's frustrating as too. So it can be kind of hard for us to manage everything, but we're doing our best. So hi to everyone that's joining us. Hi everyone. You don't want to scam scammers. So the thing of it is, people like they get angry at scammers. We want to get our revenge. Don't play with them. We've told you guys that before. Don't play with scammers. You know, you don't know what kind of scammer you're dealing with. You might have one that is very well versed in criminal activity, one that's good with computer hacking, all kinds of stuff. We don't scam other people. We don't scam the scammers. We educate people on how to stay safe and not become a victim, or how to recover from being a victim. So with that being said, let's get to our first question. Someone wrote in and asked us, I was a victim of a scam. Recently on my WhatsApp, the FBI contacted me. They said they are going to arrest my scammer, but I need to approve the arrest warrant with a down payment to process the paperwork for the judge. The WhatsApp account is a business account, so it's legit, right? No one can open a business account on WhatsApp without being a business. So no. Okay, let's get started with a few things. First of all, the FBI is not going to contact you on WhatsApp. Scammers are, you know, using WhatsApp business. The FBI is going to contact you from an FBI.gov email address, or they're going to, you know, contact you directly. They're not going to sit and message you on WhatsApp. As far as WhatsApp having a business account, anyone can have a WhatsApp business account. I could download WhatsApp today, put that I am a hairstylist, and put the name of a fake salon and say, here I am, here's my business account. It costs people nothing to have a WhatsApp business account. All you do is click make this a business account, and that's it. So keep that in mind. If you're talking to somebody online and they say, oh, I have a business and this is my business account, It's kind of suspicious. And like I said, the FBI is not going to contact you via WhatsApp. There's no fee for them to arrest a person. There's no fee to process anything. The FBI does not charge you money to take your case or investigate your case or do any of that. And keep in mind, though, with that being said, scammers who, you've been scammed and you report to ic3.gov, don't expect the FBI to get back with you. 99% of the time, they take all of your information, put it in a statistics folder, and that's it. That's as far as it goes. The FBI doesn't track down your scammer. They don't go to Nigeria and arrest them. They don't do anything like that. So keep that in mind. I mean, I know it's frustrating and people get their hopes up and they say, hey, I contacted the FBI and they're going to go after my scammer, but they're not. And most of the time the scammers get away with it, which is why they scam. They know they can get away with it. They're in a place like Nigeria where there's a lot of corruption and scamming is like a job. So just remember that. Good morning, everyone joining us. Hi, Hoka. Good to see you. Bitcoins are online currencies. So a lot of people don't know what Bitcoins are. I mean, even I'm not that well schooled in Bitcoins. Bitcoin is a form of online currency. It's used to pay for things online. It's like a digital dollar. So think if you have a dollar in your hand, it's the same thing, but it's digital. And Bitcoin is the new thing that scammers are using because it's almost untraceable. They'll have a Bitcoin account. They'll have you take money out of your bank account and send that money to a Bitcoin account. Once that money hits that Bitcoin account, gone. You won't be able to trace it. You won't be able to find it. You won't know who had it. You won't know who got it. So if you're talking to someone online and they say, hey, can you open up a Bitcoin account? Or, hey, can you send money from your bank account to my Bitcoin account to help me pay for whatever? It's going to be a scammer. It's always going to be a scammer. And a lot of these Bitcoin services that let you sign up for Bitcoin, they are no help. So like, blockchain and all these different services that, host Bitcoins, they're absolutely no help. They're not going to help you if you lose your money. They may take your report, but that's it. And digital currency is the way that scammers are using you. They're using it to get money. They don't go to Western Union anymore. They don't go to MoneyGram anymore. They go Bitcoin. They go Cash App. They go online pay systems because it's nearly impossible to trace. So with that being said, if someone asks you to send something via Bitcoin, just block them because you know it's a scammer. You know it's somebody that's trying to get your money. So never, 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 never open a Bitcoin account. Don't send people Bitcoin. Don't do any of that. Next question we have. I'm talking to a soldier online who says he's deployed to Afghanistan. He sent me his coordinates, the camp he's in, and his Gmail address to keep in touch. He says he can't talk on the phone or video chat due to military restrictions. I know the military is strict, so I don't question that, and I don't want him to get in trouble. He's been with me for 5 months and has not asked me for anything. I'm pretty sure he's real. A scammer wouldn't know coordinates to a military camp. What would make your page think he's a scammer? He's a scammer. So let's get straight on a few things. I can send you coordinates to anywhere. I can go on Google and type in what are the coordinates to camp blah 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 in Afghanistan, and it'll give it to me. That's all public knowledge. A scammer uses Google just like you and I do. So if you're talking to a soldier who claims to be deployed, for a start, soldiers who are deployed typically are not talking to strange women online that they don't know. And they send you their coordinates, that means nothing. I could tell you right now I'm in the middle of the ocean and send you my coordinates. It doesn't mean I'm there. If he's using a Gmail, that's very suspicious. Real military men and women have military email addresses, .mil, or army.mil. They have all. You can look it up and see what a real military email address looks like. Don't be afraid to Google stuff. That's one thing people don't do enough of is Google. So if he's saying that to you and he's saying, he hasn't asked you for anything, that doesn't mean nothing. Scammers will talk to people for months, if even years, before they ask for something. That's not an indication that, you're safe. It's just an indication that maybe he has 3 or 4 other victims on the hook and you haven't been asked yet. Your time is coming. We always tell people that. And if he can't video chat, he can't do anything, you're definitely talking to a scammer. If you were to ask him to video chat, he would tell you it's forbidden. Reality is military soldiers that are deployed can video chat. I mean, they can't do it every single day, obviously, but they do have time to video chat with their friends and family. I've personally video chatted with friends that went over to Afghanistan during, when people were getting deployed in the mid, the 2000s, early and mid 2000s, even when webcam chat was like not even really popular, they still Skyped. So if they're telling you that, just block them. Don't waste your time. It's just it's a scam. Charlotte, I had a scammer on Instagram who had all men following him. George Strait asked me to follow him. George, yeah, I mean they're using a lot of country singers, and I hate to say this because this is going to sound, I don't want to sound wrong. So people that love country music, and I've found this kind of across the board. People that love like George Strait, Alan Jackson, Kenny Chesney, whoever you love in country, Keith Urban. That fan base, the female fan base, they're very lovely people and they're very caring people. A lot of Christians, a lot of really respectful and giving people. And that's one of the main reasons why scammers pick country music singers to impersonate a lot of times, because that community of country music fans are giving. They're giving to the soldiers. They're very giving to, causes and things like that. And so they target people who, listen to country music because a lot of the female fan base are very nice, lovely people, and they want to give to the soldiers, the charities, and all that stuff. Like we said, people that, celebrities don't PM you, they don't have a private number they talk to you at, they didn't find you in the group of, fans and pick you out, and you're not a super fan. But scammers are using it more and more, and unfortunately they're becoming very successful at getting victims from the country music genre, because they're like, oh, George Strait's talking to me. I'm thrilled. I love your music. I love the troops. Can I help you with some, and that's what happens. Debbie, how to look up someone's URL link on Facebook on an Android phone? Well, it depends. I have an Android phone. So if you're going to go to a profile, you go to someone's profile, and I don't know if I can show you how to do it. What you want to do is go to the profile, and when you're on their profile, you'll see, I'll give you an example. This is a fake profile that I don't use. So, okay, let's say you're on this profile, okay? This is a profile. I'm on an Android phone. You see those three little dots right there? Click on those dots, tap on them. We say click, tap on them. And there you go. It'll take you to this page right here, which will show you the URL. And then you can block as well. So it's really simple on an Android. Like I said, just you're on a profile, tap on those three little dots right there, and it'll take you to the URL. The URL is going to be at the bottom of that page, and that's your URL. Copy and paste can be a little different depending on what kind of phone you have. For me, copy and paste, I just tap on the first letter of the word, and a little blue box comes up, and I just rub my thumb across what I want to copy, and then the copy button will pop up. You hit copy, and that's it. To paste it, go to where you want to paste it, hold your thumb or finger down on where you want to paste it at, and it'll paste it. It's fairly easy, but that's how you find a URL on a phone, at least on an Android. I've always used Android. I don't have an iPhone, but it's really easy. It takes some practice, but you can definitely do it for sure. Debbie, I guess us metalheads are too bitter. You know what? I've had it happens to us too. We had there's a lady on Dr. Phil that got scammed. She thought she was talking to Nikki Sixx from Motley Crue. I know Bret Michaels' fan page as well. He's done some posts about how people are impersonating him and people are falling for it. So I mean, it could happen to anybody. But yeah, a lot of them use the country singers more than the heavy metal and the rock groups. But I mean, anyone can become a victim, of course. Yeah. I've learned to become a detective and look up insignias and peacekeeping missions and all things military. Perfect. And that's the thing, and Anna and myself get really frustrated. A lot of people don't Google, they don't look stuff up. So they come to us, which we appreciate you guys coming to us if you need help. But there's certain things that, they don't look up. So they'll bring a picture of like Stephen Murphy and say, his name is Bob Smith, is he real? Did you Google his photo? No. Learn to Google things. Learn to look things up yourself, because everything you need to learn online, it's all free. All this stuff that we do, we don't pay for anything. We don't pay for search sites. We don't pay for... The only thing Anna and myself pay for out of our own pocket is the software we use to make videos. I pay like $70 a year to pay for the software to make YouTube videos. That's the only thing I pay for, and the licensing rights for some music. That's it. We don't pay a search site to find this information. We don't pay a number search site. We don't do any of that. So everything we do is free. It costs us nothing to do. You guys can learn as well, and we're happy to teach you if you want to learn. So, next question we have. I'm talking to a man online. He says his name is Gerald, but his Facebook name is Susan Patterson. When I asked him about that, he said it's to honor his dead wife. Okay. I have no other indication he's a scammer other than he's a widow. He's in the oil industry. Would a person use their dead wife's name to honor her? I'm confused by this. Uh, it's kind of creepy. Like, okay, let's he's a fake. Let's put it this way. He's a fake. But let's say for the sake of argument the person was real. And instead of using his own name, he's using his dead wife's name. That would creep me out to next week. So if you're talking to somebody online and he's saying, I'm using my dead wife's name to honor her, there's something wrong with him. And he probably shouldn't be looking for a relationship. He should be looking for some therapy. But the fact of the matter is, if he's got a female name on his profile, it's likely he either obtained the profile from somebody else and that's their real name, or he's made a fake profile as a woman and now he decided to be a guy and try to scam as a guy. That's the only two things. He's working in the oil industry. That's definitely going to be a scammer. That's for sure. You know that. What's the best reverse image site search site? Reverse image search site. Anna and myself use Yandex, Yandex.com. It's a Russian-run search site, but if you can't find results on Google, you will likely find them on Yandex. Yandex.com and Tineye.com are two of the best ones that we've used. We generally do find who it is in the photo. I'd say probably 85% of the time with Yandex. So give them a try. It's all free. Uploading is free. It's all free to use. So, but there's a couple other ones too. Newbox is one. There's one called PhotoRater. PhotoRater.com that is fairly good too, but it's very, very slow. So if you're like in a hurry, it's not a great one to use. So, but don't ever pay. Don't ever pay for photo search sites. Don't ever pay for any of that stuff. You're just throwing your money out the window. All the information you need is free. It's all free. Next question. I love communicating on pages on Facebook, like news pages and cooking sites, but it's endless with scammers who reply to my comments and flood my inbox. How can I prevent this? You really can't. Scammers troll cooking sites. They troll news pages. Good Morning America. They troll working women. They're on every site. I actually created a Facebook profile recently just to do a little experiment to see how quickly it would take from having 0 friends as a 60-year-old woman to having scammers. And it took less than an hour to have over 90 friend requests and well over 100 messages in my message box asking for, let's get to know each other, hello pretty, all that crap. What I did is I commented on one page, Good Morning America, and I wrote, oh, that story's wonderful, thank you for sharing that. Boom, scammers were all over me like you wouldn't believe. So you can't stop them. You can't stop them from following you on, trolling sites. And you want to enjoy the internet and enjoy the news commentary just like anybody else would. Best thing you can do, if they're bothering you, don't answer them. Don't respond to their messages if they message you. If they send you a friend request, just block them. And if they reply to you on a news story, let's say they reply, just don't respond. Don't talk to them. Don't respond to them. Don't say screw you. Don't say go away. Don't even acknowledge them as human beings. And they'll go away and go somewhere else. They're looking for your attention. They want you to say something, whether it's hi, nice to meet you, or go away, scammer. They're looking for you to get a response. So don't respond to them. That's the best thing you can do. Make sure your profile is locked down. Make sure your photos are not public, your photo albums. If it's getting really bad and your profile picture, you're female, your profile pictures of yourself and your kids or just yourself, take that off. Put a photo up of a dog or a cat or a tree or your pet or your favorite recliner. I don't care. Don't put your real photo on your profile picture. So they can't judge who you are and take a look and say, oh, she looks to be 40, and don't give them the chance to do What about genuine people, real profiles who just scam anyone or multiple people? How do you deal with them after knowing them a while? I mean, real people do scam. Some people use their real photos and real profiles to scam. Um, there's scammers everywhere. They're not necessarily all fake profiles. The best thing you can deal with after knowing them a while is just unfriend them, block them. Don't get into a big, dramatic friendship breakup thing with them. Just block them. I mean, you have the power to block them. If you know someone's a scammer, you know they're doing wrong, block them. It's the best way to get them out of your life. It's the best way to just get rid of them. You don't have to have a long speech with them or tell them why you're blocking them. That's the great thing about the internet is if you don't like somebody, you can just block them and not say nothing to them, and that's it. Where in real life you have to like go, I don't like you, I don't want to hang out with you anymore. Well, on the internet you just block them and say, I don't want that, done, and that's the best way to do it. Uh, John, is there any way to find someone's fake profiles? I mean, it depends. There's fake profiles everywhere. I mean, it depends. I mean, if you're looking for all, like, in terms of a scammer's fake profiles, like all the profiles he uses, it'd be impossible. Um, I mean, there's scammers will use 20 profiles at a time, so it's hard to connect them all unless they're all friends with each other. Then you can kind of find them that way, if that's what you mean. If you mean something different, just like let me know. Next question we have is: have you ever noticed more female profiles sending messages to females about a single uncle or a father who is too shy to message? Why would scammers do this? Yes, they do. What happens is they'll create a fake female profile and they'll say, "Hi, my uncle thinks you're really cute, but he's afraid to talk to you." It's kind of weird. Like, how old's your uncle? He's 57. To us, that's weird. If you're a grown man and you can't talk to somebody online, so you don't send your niece or whatever. What they do is they'll create a female profile, and they will tell that they'll message a target victim, and they'll tell that victim, "My uncle likes you." What it does is it opens a dialogue for you to talk to the niece or the daughter, and it gains your trust. You think, well, this man must be real. He's got his niece talking to me, and so you end up engaging with this person. You think you're talking to a niece. You're talking to the scammer who's pretending to be a niece, and then who will pretend to be the man that is interested in you. And it's a way for them to gain your trust. It's a way for them, so you won't guess if they're a scammer. You'll think, oh, he must be real. He's got a niece, or he's got a daughter that what a sweet man. He's so shy and gentle. He doesn't want to approach me. And that's what they do. It's part of the manipulation process. It's a way to get them to try and believe, make you believe that they're real, make you believe that they're sensitive, and they have a niece, they have family. The family is worried about him because his wife died, and he wants to talk to you. It's just a way to gain your trust. So I mean, always question that. Like, I would be very concerned if a person came to me and said, "My uncle likes you, but he's afraid to talk to you." So there's something wrong with that. When I play Betty online, I always tell people that do that, I say, well, if he can't talk to me as himself, I don't want nothing to do with him. And usually the scammers will run off and then they'll come back as the guy. It's quite funny. It's quite funny. I posed as a woman and talked to Robert. What can you tell me about it? I talk with a lot of people as a woman. I did have a voice chat with a guy named Robert. He was a Nigerian using a stolen photo. He asked for money to be sent to a mule. I made a voice chat video. That's all I know about him. I've blocked him, and that was the end of it. One thing about the voice chats we do, and I wanted to bring this up, we'll post these voice chats, and we've had victims of scams come to us and say, "I've talked to that man too. I know that accent. I know that voice." And it's like, it's not, you're not talking to the same scammer. It's a very slim possibility. A lot of the scammers come, the ones that we have voice chatted with, I would say 90% of them are from Nigeria, unfortunately. And so they all have a similar accent. They pronounce their words the same. They have the same kind of monotone voice. I can tell you that I've talked to probably 50 fake profiles just this year that I've had voice chats with, whether they be long or short ones. And they all sound the same, but they're all different scammers. They just have the same accent, they have the same tone, they say the same words. It's a dating format that they use, so they all sound the same, and after a while it's like, oh, it's another one. And to us, they all, it's all the same. So a lot of people will think, oh, I've talked to him. I know it's him. I've talked to him. But it's not. It's different. It's different scammers, but they're just from the same place. So that would be kind of like if you talk to people that were just from, someone's going to yell at me, Alabama. And everyone from Alabama has that same accent, this kind of southern drawl. And then you talk to someone from New York, you can tell the difference in the accents. And so, unfortunately, a lot of the voice chats we get are all Nigerians, and so that's what they sound like. So, hi Rachel, good to see you. Thank you. Rachel's cool. Next question we have. I'm on Instagram and so many men are following me. How can I stop this? Make your Instagram private. Make it private. Too many people have their Instagrams public where they allow followers and following, and everyone can see everything in God's creation, and we can see when you made macaroni and cheese, and we can see when you got your toenails painted because you post a photo. Make it private. Make it so no one can follow you. Make it so we can't see followers. You can't see followers. If you're public looking at it, that's the best way to do it. If you make your life public, scammers are going to flock to you. If you make it private and they can't see anything, and they're not sure who they're dealing with, they're going to tend to stray away and find somebody else. So same with Facebook. Make your photos private. Make your albums private. Make your about section private. Don't tell people where you went to grade school. Don't tell people publicly where you work. And that's a good way to do it. Mom says, hi, Rachel and Elizabeth from New Zealand. Stay out of trouble. Rachel and her mom are personal friends of Anna and myself. John, there really needs to be thorough regulation to make people responsible for what they say and be able to legally hold account. I agree. But the unfortunate part of it is that as a whole, Facebook, of course, is not going to take responsibility for what happens on their network. Same with Instagram and all that, and WhatsApp is owned by Facebook. There needs to be regulation. There needs to be, something done to where if a scammer in Nigeria is doing something that he shouldn't be doing, that he is caught, that he is arrested. But it won't happen because of the corruption between countries. It's not gonna. There's no regulations. It's like a lawless land. It's kind of like being in the ocean. It's a lawless land. In places like Nigeria, yeah, they crack down on one or two scammers, and there's a big splash in the news that'll be, 10 scammers arrested. You arrest 10, there's 40,000 more of them that are there, and they come from all over too. I'm not just targeting Nigeria, India, Pakistan, they're from all over. They come from all over. It's just, unfortunately, a lot of the romance scammers who do fake profiles of soldiers and oil rig engineers are originating out of Nigeria and Ghana. It's kind of unfortunate, but it is how it is. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you and say they're not all Nigerian. They're not. A lot of them are Nigerian. I mean, they're not all, but a lot of them are. It's just a sad fact. Let's see. What about if you are try searching and you can't find the picture? Do you keep searching or assume they are all fake? It's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. It was actually one of the questions in my thing. So scammers sometimes now are stealing photos of people that don't come up in search sites. So they're stealing photos of random people. They'll type in the name Bob Jones and pick Bob Jones from Arkansas and he's barbecuing. They'll take his photos and steal them and make them Tom Smith and scam people. And when you search for their photos online, nothing comes up because that is not a known person. He's not famous. He's not a general. He hasn't had his photo stolen for 10 years, so he doesn't show up. You don't assume they're fake. What we tell people is search the photos. If you get no results, and photos are only a good 20% of determining if a profile is real or not. The other 80% comes from what are they saying to you? What is their story? What's their URL? Are they talking to you as John Smith, but their Facebook profile URL is Chizzy Ms. Moneyboy? I mean, look at their likes and look at what they tell you. Look at what they ask of you. And those are ways that we use to determine if a profile is fake or not. Because sometimes people will bring us a profile and we search the photo, we don't know who it is. And they'll say, well, then he must be real. And we'll come back and we'll say, what did he tell you about himself? oh, he's a widow. He's got a 9-year-old daughter who's in boarding school in the UK. He's originally from Spain, but he's working in Nigeria in an oil rig. His daughter, has a nanny minder, and he has a house in California, but his phone number is from Texas, and he asked me to download Hangouts, and that right there tells us what we need to know. And so that's how we determine. And keep in mind that for the majority of scammers, they keep the same crap stories. It's very, very rare that they waver from the whole dating format, is what they call it. So, and they like Bitcoins. If they like Bitcoin, um, they're a widow. They got a kid. The wife died from cancer, car crash. They blew up in a gas explosion. They ran off with his best friend. He works at an oil rig. He works as a military soldier. He's deployed. Gold buyer, it's engineer, road construction. They keep the same garbage professions. They're a doctor. They never change that. They never change the story that they're a widow. They got a kid. That's how we determine, and that's the best way. And you're right. Look at their Facebook profile. See who likes their pictures. So that's great, Amy. I mean, look, if you're talking to a 56-year-old man from Texas whose name is Bob Jones, and he grew up in California City, and every photo he has on his Facebook profile is liked by a bunch of young Nigerian kids, it's a Nigerian scammer. Or if you're talking to this guy and his likes are, you go to his likes, and his likes are Wiz Khalifa, Snoop Dogg, a couple, Davido, all rappers like that, and he likes Nigerian hair care products, and he tagged himself as being at the KFC in Lagos. You're dealing with a young scammer. So, it's clues that you can look at. It's not always about the photo. It's not always about the photo. It's always about what they say, what they do, and what they ask. Next question we have. So another page against scammers, they didn't say what page, said all the scammers scam because they need to eat, and that's the only reason because they suffer. Do you feel bad about stopping them from getting money to eat? No, because let's be real. In all the years Anna and myself have been doing this, I would say, and keep in mind, we talk to anywhere from 50 to 100 scammers in a week, fake profiles. Maybe 2 or 3 in the 7 years we've been doing this, have we found scammers that were actually doing it because they needed food. And when we confronted them about it, they said, I'm so hungry, I'm starving, I need food. And I said, well, how are you talking to me on? Oh, I have a brand new iPhone. Sell your iPhone if you're hungry. Oh no, I don't sell my iPhone, you just give me money. So, okay, yes, there are poor people in Nigeria. There's poor people everywhere. I'm poor. But there are poor people in Nigeria, and they are hungry, and there is corruption in that country, and there is violence, and there is kidnapping, and there is lack of jobs. You have educated youth in Nigeria that can't find jobs. Okay, I get that. I get all that. However, people get this in their head that they're all poor and they're starving and they haven't eaten in 5 days. The truth is, a large majority of the scammers have an iPhone. They have the newest iPhone. They have cars. They have food. They have Gucci bags. They have Rolex watches. They have money hanging out of their pockets. They do it because it's a game. They do it because they can make lots of money. And they do it because it's a famous thing to do in Nigeria. Being a scammer in Nigeria, being a Yahoo boy, is equal to being a rap star. It's a cult culture. It's a youth culture. It's something that they brag about. They love to flash the money. They love to throw the money. They're not dying. Now, there are people in Nigeria that are starving. But guess what? Those people don't have an iPhone. They don't have a computer. They don't have internet access. They don't have running water. They don't have electricity. They're not online scamming. The ones that are online scamming have access to internet, electricity. They have a way to get online. They have a phone. They have an iPhone. They have a laptop. They have a tablet. They have everything they need to scam you. So just remember that when you're talking about feeling bad for people in Nigeria that have nothing. If you truly, 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 honest to God, feel bad about Nigerian people having no food, no money, no running water, and they're dying, then find an NGO, find a charity who gives directly to those people if you want to give money. But don't give money to a 21-year-old Nigerian kid who's driving a brand new Range Rover and who's telling you he's hungry. It's ridiculous. And it amazes me the amount of people that give money to strangers online. We have victims that will come almost damn near every day to our page and say, oh, I gave this man $500. Why? Oh, he said he was in the military and he needed new shoes. Oh, I gave this other man who's a doctor $1,000 because he said that he needs money to buy medical supplies. Stop giving money to people you don't know. It's ridiculous. It kind of infuriates me that these people will every day come to our inbox. Same people, same group. There's always like 4 or 5 of them. And they give money and give money and give money and give money. And then they go, well, I was scammed. I want my money back. Stop giving money to people. Stop doing it. And you're right. Scammers are in every section of Facebook. They are. They're in groups. They're in... I mean, we've seen them victimize people whose kids have died of cancer. And they join these cancer groups, support groups for parents who's lost their children to cancer. And they victimize people in those groups. And they say, oh, I lost my child too, dear. And then they play on it. And it disgusts me how they do it. I mean, it's disheartening. So, all right, next question we got. Do you notice quite a few Nigerians using their own profile to contact you and tell you that they don't scam and are honest and want to marry you? I had an encounter with a 23-year-old Nigerian man who sent me a message saying he wants to be with me, I'm beautiful, and he wants to be my husband. I'm 78 years old. I told him no, he's old enough to be my grandson, and he started cussing me out, telling me that I'm racist, stupid, and an old fool, and then he made threats to sexually assault me. Is this a new tactic? Yes. It's not new, but it's... So, and this doesn't go for just Nigeria, this goes for a lot of other countries too. There are a lot of young men, and women do it too, that will message people that look older and successful, like, I don't want to say middle-aged, but seasoned ladies that are in their 50s, 60s, 70s that have had successful lives and that might be single, divorced, kids are grown, out of the house, you own your home, you drive a car, you run a business, whatever. And there'll be these young boys, and I call them boys because like I'm in my 40s, young boys that talk to middle-aged women and elderly women online, going up to like their 80s and 90s, saying, I want to marry you, you're beautiful, I could be your husband, I'm a strong African man, I can give you everything you need sexually, I can do this, I can do that, marry me, I want to be with you, age is just a number. So we hear that, age is just a number. They're looking for a way out of their country. Straight out. There's no reason why a 23-year-old boy would want to, first of all, marry, be sexually attracted to, or want to be with an 80-year-old woman. It's just, that's not happening. So they're looking for a way out. They're looking for a way to get out of their country. They want you to pay for their visa. They want you to send them money. They want you to adopt them. And with that, they promise to come to your country. They promise to take care of you. They promise all these things. To me, they're scammers. They're just using their real selves, their real faces, and their real intentions. At the end of the day, what do you want? I mean, I'm not trying to sound rude, but if you're 80 years old, what the hell do you want with a 23-year-old boy from Nigeria? So keep that in mind. They do contact you as themselves. The same happens to scammers that are in, the Middle East, scammers that are in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. They all do the same garbage. They message the older women, these young men, and they want to marry you. They love you within 20 seconds of seeing your face. So, be smart. Use your brain. Be smart about it. And this is what we tell people too. We have a lot of victims that come to our inbox that are lovely ladies, nothing wrong with them. Maybe they're divorced and they've had a couple kids and their kids are off in college and they're in their 50s and 60s and they get this fantasy that they're talking to this 20-year-old oiled up, muscle-bound soldier in tight camo pants and, he's showing off his muscles at the gym and we have these ladies that come to us and they say, oh, he's my new boyfriend, he wants to marry me. And Anna and myself are very respectful to people, okay? But in our heads, we think, are you serious right now? So take a step back and while the fantasy is fun, look at the reality of how things really are. Just look at it that way. Gene, why so many from Nigeria? They come from all over, but yeah, the sad fact is a lot of romance scammers are from Nigeria. They use fake profiles. Like I said, a good 80-85% of the inbox is they're Nigerian scammers. There's a few reasons for it. And one of the main reasons, and Nigeria is an extremely corrupt country. It's run by corrupt politicians. It's run by corrupt businessmen. Everything there is corrupt, so it's never what it seems. Lots of scammers running big business, running the government. The thing with Nigeria is you have all these youths. There's a lot of youths in Nigeria, like compared to like how we say like in China there's a lot of older people. Nigeria there's a lot of youths, and so or in Japan there's a lot of elderly. There's more elderly people than younger. However, in Nigeria you have kids that are 20 to 30 years old. They're college educated. They're very smart. They're engineers. They're computer engineers. They're all these different things, and they've gone to college. They've gotten their education. They have no jobs. So what unfortunately has happened is there are no jobs. There's a lot of corruption. There's a lot of poverty. They've taken their wisdom and their education and they've used it to start scamming to make money. And what they've found is a 20-year-old Nigerian kid who can use a fake profile and use an iPhone to scam women online can make $1 million a year sitting on his ass doing nothing but talking on the phone versus somebody who say is lucky enough to get a job working in an oil field, because Nigeria is rich with oil, making pennies a day, risking his life and injuring his body. So they found a way to make money, and the unfortunate part is, people keep giving money, and that's why they keep making money. So it's going to keep happening, and unfortunately, it's stained their country. Because there's a lot of good people in Nigeria too, but it has totally stained their country, and that's happens. What happens if they don't face a face? If they don't face a Facebook profile, you mean if the profile doesn't have a photo, or just let me know. Facebook won't even remove a person pretending to be a Facebook employee. Yeah, they won't. Mark Zuckerberg and the CEO of Facebook, they use her photos all the time. They don't. Facebook doesn't care. Facebook doesn't care about your safety. They don't care about anything other than making money. It's a cash cow. It's an absolute cash cow. And with that in mind too, let's talk about one thing I wanted to cover. So if you report a profile, here's Anna and myself's feelings on this. You can report fake profiles. We don't tell you not to report them. That is up to you. We do not report fake profiles ourselves, only in times where it seems like it's an emergency, like if they're using someone's photo that we know, or they're stalking a victim only on Facebook and we try to get the victim away from the scammer, we'll report the fake profile just to try to, screw it up for them. But we don't report, mainly because we don't have time. We get hundreds of inboxes a day. There's only two of us. But another reason that we don't report, people have this misconception that if you report a fake profile, that means the scammer has been eliminated. Like it's some kind of video game where if you kill the scammer's profile, he goes away. And that's couldn't be further from the truth. The honest truth is if you report a fake profile and it gets taken down, the scammer makes another one. It doesn't mean that the scammer is banned from the internet. It doesn't mean the scammer is banned from Facebook. It just means their profile got taken down. Boom, let's make another one and let's start scamming. And then a question somebody asked us was our next question. Is it true scammers pay for profiles that are old, and if so, why? Yes. If you go into a group run by like the Yahoo Boys, you'll see posts that say, I have a profile for sale, 5 years old, DM me for information. They sell profiles. The reason being is profiles that are older, that are like 5 years, 10 years old, if they get reported, Facebook tends to not even look at them. They tend to not even, do anything. A lot of those profiles have been verified. So they've shown ID. They show that, yes, I am Bob Smith. Or they verify with an American phone number. So those profiles are older. When Facebook does look at profile reports, they look at the age of the profile. They look at how long it's been on there, and most times they won't remove them. That's why scammers do sell profiles. They have a less chance of being removed. It's easier for them to log into a profile that's already made versus trying to make one. Because if you make too many Facebook profiles with your IP address, Facebook will kick you off. They will verify and ask for your ID, and it happens all the time. So that's why they sell them. That's why they buy them. And they do buy them. They buy them for iTunes cards. They buy them for cash. They do all kinds of things. It's kind of crazy, but it does happen quite often. So that's why sometimes you'll see like a blatantly fake profile, but it says it's from 2012, and you're like, "Wow, that's an old profile." It just means that they bought a profile that's old and changed the name on it, put a different photo up. So, next question we have. I'm talking to a man online who says he's working in Norway but is from the USA. He says he's Native American, and when I asked him what his tribe he's connected with, he said the American tribe. Have you found a lot of scammers pretending to be Native Americans? Yes. And the thing of it is they don't realize what Native American is. They think a Native American is someone who lives in America. They're native to America. They don't realize that Native American means something very, very different in the United States. So yes, I have seen scammers who say they are Native American. I've asked them what tribe they're with, and they say the American tribe, or they say, yes, dear, I'm from Texas. They don't understand, and that's good. I don't want to educate them. I don't want to tell them what it really means. But just know that they do think Native American means someone who lives in America. Like if they were to say, I'm a native Nigerian, that means you're from Nigeria. Well, being Native American in America means something totally different. So it's quite funny. It's actually extremely funny. So we had a question that was asked. It came into my phone, so give me a second here. If we have to choose a picture posted that has been stolen and you post it and we hit like, it looks like we like the pic. If we hit angry, which I do because I'm angry that the picture has been stolen but could be viewed as mad, the person, which I'm not, just a scammer. How do we acknowledge a picture or note that we are grateful to know the picture is a stolen one? It's an interesting question. It's funny. It's hard because I'm in a dog spotting group that one of the dogs always looked angry. His name was Tuber, and he passed away recently. And as a tribute, we all hit the angry button because he always looked like an angry dog. And so people that were new didn't understand what that meant. And so it can be confusing for people that are on here and they're new to the page and they don't quite understand what that means. I mean, my best thing to tell you would be to hit like. Or if you're angry, maybe hit like and then write something underneath it and say, how you feel. I mean, that would be the best way. It actually helps us too because you interact more with the page. We have to ask people to interact more with the page because we're not getting a lot of commentary and likes and things. And the more that's on there, the more we're seen. If you don't know what to say, I would just tick like because a like helps acknowledge the page. It helps acknowledge things. And if it's a particular stolen photo that you know something about or you feel upset or angry about, just write it on there. Write in a comment. Say, I hate that these photos are stolen. I hate that scammers do this. Whatever you feel, write. You're more than welcome to write whatever you want on our page. We don't generally ban people for writing stuff, so that's the best thing to do. The only time we're going to ban you, and I had to do it this week, and I hate doing it, don't write nasty stuff on stolen victims' photos. So we had a lady the other day that it was a stolen photo of a gentleman. He was kind of heavy set. Hell, I'm heavy set. He was older gentleman, and she wrote on it and said, "Oh, he's ugly. I don't see how he could get any women to like him." It's rude. It's a stolen photo. He's not a scammer. It's a stolen photo. So that would be like if a scammer had stolen your photos and I said, "Oh God, that woman's ugly. Look at her hair." It'd be insulting to you. So that's the only thing we ask is don't write nasty stuff on stolen photos. You can write whatever you want on the scammer photos. I could care less. As long as it's not racist. Don't write racist things on our page, please. Kim, I didn't realize that they didn't understand what Native American meant. They don't. And especially on tagged. A lot of them are Native American. They're far from Native American. So it's quite humorous. It's like widows when they say they're a widow. Sometimes they'll write they're a window instead of widow because they don't know how to spell it. So it's quite amusing. It's a good way to tell if a profile's fake as well too. I've got a couple more questions and I'll close out the Q&A. If you have any questions, write them in the chat. We are going to hop over to YouTube in a little while and try to call scammers as Betty if I can get a hold of anybody. Next question. This is a very important one because we cover this all the time. I was a victim of a scam. I tried to find the man in the photo, but only found another fake. Why can't I find him? I want to tell him he's the victim of a scam, and maybe he's single like I am. Have you ever heard of any victim finding the man in the photo and they fall in love? No. Stop doing it. Look, we all want to fall in love. We all want to have that special someone. I get it. Okay. But the men in these stolen photos, a large majority of the time, there's a few things. One, they're married. Two, they might be dead. Three, the photos are 15, 20 years old, so that handsome 30-year-old guy that's the six-pack abs that you think you're just lusting over is really a fat 50-year-old man now with 5 grandkids. They use photos that are 20 years old sometimes. I've seen photos used from the late 90s, early 2000s, or even 2001 when we went to Afghanistan the first time. And the women are going, oh, I love this young man. He's my age. He's 24. And I have to tell her, this photo is 20 years old. This man is now 44, 54, whatever. And they get very upset. So keep this in mind. The men in the stolen photos are innocent victims. They don't want to be contacted by you. They don't want to know you. Most times you will not get a response from the real man if you really find the real man and not another scammer pretending to be the real man. They will not respond to you. They don't want nothing to do with you. You are one of 1,000 women who have thrown themselves at the real man in the photo and said, I really love you. I want to be with you. Oh, I want to let you know your photo's stolen, honey. My name is Sally, and I really like you. And stop it. Stop it. They don't want to know you. It's frustrating. We have victims that come to us and say, but I really want to know the man in the photo. And I'm like, no, you don't. You don't know him. He don't know you. He don't know who you are. He might be gay. I've had women come to our inbox, and Hannah has too, throwing themselves at Jim Newman. We all know Jim Newman. Jim Newman is not going to marry you, lady. So it's frustrating. It's very frustrating. Don't look for the man in the photo. Just block and move on. You might have to mourn the loss of the relationship, but don't stalk the man in the photo. He doesn't know who you are. Don't do it. And no, in the 7 years we've been doing this, we have never found a victim who has fallen in love with the man in the photo and they ran off into the sunset. Has never happened. If it ever happens, I would be absolutely floored. Never has happened. All right, we got one more question. If you got questions in the chat, I'll answer them. Otherwise, we'll end this February Q&A, and we'll do one for March. We're gonna do our St. Patrick's Day one like we do every year. We'll probably do it March 17th, provided that something doesn't happen in this world. So the next question, I'm talking to a man who is deployed to Afghanistan. He's not asked me for anything, but he can't video chat due to him being in a war zone. He called me, and he sounds like he's from the Caribbean. He says he was born in Florida, but his mother was Russian. His father was from Sweden. Oh boy. He grew up in Sweden, and he went to boarding school in Spain. We've been in an online relationship for 8 months. He's not asked me for a card or money or my bank info or anything. I did, however, tell him I wanted to send him a care package, and I bought him soaps, snacks, and things he would need while he's deployed. Things from home like candy, chips, and beef jerky. When I asked him for his mailing address, he gave me the address to a lady in Florida who he says is in charge of military package deployments. Would a scammer do this? Who is the woman I sent the package to? Yes, a scammer would do that. Again, this comes back to people in war zones are not chatting to strange women online that they've never met. A lot of scammers will ask you to mail things, and they do it to see if you'll do it. So we've had victims that have sent like clothing and shoes and different things and mailed them to a mule, which is likely who this lady is. She's a victim of the scammer who's accepting this package thinking the scammer probably told her, my aunt or my grandma is going to send you a package. Just hang on to it, or send it forward to Nigeria or wherever. It's package muling. It will be a scammer. And here's the thing: there is no lady in Florida that I don't mean to laugh, but there's no lady in Florida that deals with military packages. Okay, so if you're going to send a package to a troop soldier overseas, you can go to the Department of Defense. Or if you just want to send a package to a soldier, there's tons of charities that do this. However, your particular soldier will have an APO, FPO, or DPO, which is a mailing address for military. Ask them what it is. A real scammer will have no clue what it is, or he'll go, oh, it's blah, 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 and it's not even legit. So if you're talking to a soldier online and he's deployed, you're probably talking to a scammer, but however, given the chance, okay, you want to send a package, ask him for his APO, FPO, DPO, his mailing address. Ask him for his military email address, not a Gmail. Scammers use Gmail. A real military man will have a military email address. So you are talking to a scammer. Your package likely went to a victim, and the victim probably sent the package forward to the scammer, or just hung on to it and said, "Oh, okay." Or what could happen also is the scammer told that victim in Florida, "Hey, I want to send you a care package with some beef jerky and some things that you need. It's going to come from my agent," and that's what happens. So um, just 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 block them. Don't send packages and things to people you don't know. Please don't do it. What happens if they don't have a Facebook account that you can check on? Where are you talking to them at? Sirens. If you're talking to, somebody you met on Hangouts or on a dating site, we can check on their photo. We can check on their email address. We can check on their phone number. They don't have to have a Facebook account for us to investigate them. So if you have any information on the person, inbox it to us. Anna and myself will take a look. A lot of scammers don't use Facebook. They meet victims in other places. So just keep that in mind. And yes, Facebook dating is full of scammers. I am on Facebook dating as Betty. So yes, they are full of scammers. If anyone has any questions, hi Ann, good to see you. Hope you're enjoying your honeymoon. And hi Nikki, good to see you. So if anyone has any questions, you can ask them now. Otherwise, I'll end the Q&A for now. Ann says hello, and then you guys asked about my mom. I'll just fill you guys in real quickly. We're awaiting a surgeon in Portland. Because I live outside of Portland. We have to take her to Portland for cancer surgery. She has to have the surgery. It's going to be a rocky road. It's kind of a hard thing because if she doesn't have the surgery, she will die from the cancer. If she does have the surgery, there's a good risk that something could happen during the surgery. So in the next month or two, hopefully we'll have some answers. She meets with a video chat with a surgeon on Tuesday to find out all the details. But she's stable for now, doing okay. We're doing one day at a time. And I've learned that in this last year since the pandemic. We're taking one day at a time with everything. So thanks you guys for asking. I appreciate it. I need your thoughts and prayers as always. And Anna's doing good. She's probably watching, likely. And we're both on the page. We're here every day, so if you need help, you can inbox us or chat with us wherever you need. We're always here for you. Send us any information you have. We're happy to look up stuff for you. It's always free, as always. So I hope you guys are doing good. Thanks again for stopping by. Thanks again to Kimmy's Tapestry for our lovely background. And appreciate you guys and everything. If you have any questions, you can inbox us, and then we'll be going live on YouTube in a little while. I'm going to try to call some scammers as Betty. I got to get them lined up first. So if you subscribe to our YouTube channel and get the notification bell, you'll get a notification when I go live on YouTube. So that's going to end our Q&A for this month. Thank you so much for being part of it. John, is there any way to search Facebook photos? Yeah, click on the photo, save it, and then take it and drop it over into a search site, and you can search it that way if that's what you mean. That's the best way to do it. So, hi Gwen, thank you everybody. You guys take care. Hope to see you over on YouTube. If you have any questions and you forgot them, you can ask them on YouTube. We'll be on there shortly. As I said, you get a notification. Otherwise, we'll see you back St. Patrick's Day for our Q&A. St. Patrick's Day, I'll be happy wearing green. So you guys take care. We'll see you next time. Be safe. Don't give your money to people you don't know. Take care.